Can you share what healing from within truly means to you?
Really understanding who we are deep down. And that's truly kind of where the healing is.
Why do so many people try to fix a relationship without looking at themselves first?
Well, because it's much easier to look at, to point the finger at somebody else. It's takes a lot of strength and courage. It's not easy to look within. I mean, you really have to challenge yourself.
Yes, welcome, Evelina. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah,
Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having in this call, in this meeting. And a space we created for growth, clarity, and meaningful transformation. Here we have Evelina. And this podcast is for those who are ready to understand themselves better. For the growth with intention and create and change in their personal and professional lives. Am I correct, Evelina?
Yep. It's all about healing and transformation and looking within. Yep.
That is correct. And here we will talk about the mindset, emotional awareness, confidence, and inner work that leads to outer success, right? With honest conversation, practical insight, and gentle guidance you can actually apply. So if you're ready to connect with us, definitely you can search Evelina website. You can search, her Instagram, Facebook, and each and everything. So here we just want to begin with Evelina. So Evelina, first of all, thank you so much once again to be in a call with us in this podcast, giving us your precious time. So, what about the day? Everything is fine?
Yeah, everything is good. Looking forward to the holidays.
Okay. So, my first question for you, Evelina, why healing starts within? Before we talk about a relationship, can you share what healing from within truly means to you?
Sure. So what it means to me is like really looking within. So I myself am a healing and transformation life, relationship, and mindset coach. And I started this journey, opened up my company, Real Authentic Self Inc. This past August. And it really starts with looking what is inside of you, because you can't change another person. So it started when I started going through my own healing journey a few years ago. I started looking at my own family system, my old childhood, understanding, what are my true beliefs and values, challenging myself a little bit, challenging some of my subconscious beliefs that I had from childhood that, served me then, but don't necessarily serve me in adulthood, to truly find who you are as a person. I just think that a lot of us go along every day. We do things consciously or unconsciously. We don't really understand what we want out of life, and it just takes some reflection and looking within, not always looking at the outside world and blaming other people, but just really understanding who we are deep down. And that's truly kind of where the healing is. And that's what led me to this work and opening my own company, because I now want to give back and help other people try to understand who they are and live the most authentic life that they can, because that's what ultimately brings true happiness in your life, is when you can live a life that feels fulfilled to your core beliefs and values that you have, within yourself.
Got it. And Evelina, obviously, what lead you personally to this work? Like, if I can say, is there any in your life, like any point where you transfer yourself, like transformation, to give that kind of coaching to different people?
Yeah. So, what led me to this basically was, I myself had struggled a little bit in my marriage with my partner. So we've been married. Well, we've been together 15 years, married for 10. And essentially, we come from two very different backgrounds. I am Polish background. He is of Greek background. So very different, fundamental, different cultures. And so we have very different parenting models. And so when we had our twins 8.5 years ago, there was just a major shift in our relationship. There was just a lot of miscommunication. And we were essentially taking out, I did not know that at that point before I did my own inner healing. We were taking out our own internal childhood wounds and traumas onto each other. Instead of like looking within, when we got triggered, we didn't understand, we would take it out on the other partner versus being like, wait, what is this causing in me? Why am I getting so triggered by something that they said or my kid did? You know, so that's what kind of like led me personally to this work is, again, this whole change starts with you. Because you can't change anyone no matter what you do. And actually, the more you push and try to have them change, the more they kind of move away. So yeah, so I'm in a much better place with my partner right now. We're in a much better place today, but it really took some deep digging within me to really understand myself better, my family system better, how I was parented, understanding my emotional needs, understanding what I really want out of my life. And that is literally the only way to move forward, because when you change, the situation around you changes, because it just, there's no other way. The person can see you're changing. You're not as reactive emotionally to everything. You're just kind of like living within your element. So that's, that's what led me to do this work.
Got it. And why do so many people try to fix a relationship without looking at themselves first?
Well, because it's much easier to look at, to point the finger at somebody else. It takes a lot of strength and courage. It's not easy to look within. I mean, you really have to challenge yourself and look at your own upbringing. Like, I could have easily pointed the finger, which I did initially. It just pointed the finger at my spouse, and I'm like, I'm not getting anywhere by attacking him or his family system or just anything. Like, it really started with me. I had to look within myself, and it's not easy to do that. I cannot stress that it's not easy, but knowledge is power. The more you understand yourself, you have to hold, yourself and people accountable. Like our parents, they did the best they could with what they knew, but it doesn't mean that some of the programming that you got was healthy. They showed you that way. Your caregivers showed you that way because that's all they knew. But when you become an adult, you have to challenge that. And I'm not saying, to not speak, to your caregivers. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you have to have the courage to challenge it and understand, does this programming make sense for me today? And is this a functional thing, or is this a dysfunctional pattern that I'm seeing? So that's I think why a lot of people don't do it. They just rather, push it under the rug, blame other people, have a victim mindset, not care. But eventually it does take a toll on you, on your emotional health and on your relationships. And eventually you're gonna have to look within no matter what, if you want your life to kind of turn around and live a more happier, fulfilled life.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely. So how do childhood experience, you can say, silently, shape adult relationship?
Yeah, I mean, there are internal programming, whether it's directly or indirectly, what we saw our caregivers, the relationship that our caregivers had between each other, how they treated us, how they treated our siblings, how they treated other people. I mean, this is all subconscious programming. It's so ingrained in our subconscious mind that we do these behaviors in adulthood, not even thinking twice about it. Like, if your parent, for example, was a little bit more of like a people pleaser, an overly empathic person, you will do that in adulthood. You're not even going to know you're doing it. Other people may notice it, but you may not notice it. So childhood has everything. That's where the healing starts. You have to go and look at your childhood. You don't have to stay in the childhood area, but you do have to at least acknowledge it, understand it, and then move forward to the future. You can't just ignore your whole childhood and act like that does not have anything to do with your adult relationships, because your adult relationships are literally a mirror of your childhood experiences.
Got it.
There's no way to say it.
Got it. So what are the most common emotional patterns you see repeating in your clients, by the way?
Yeah, I would say this victim mindset and like blaming others for their problems. Again, not wanting to look within. People come in and say, oh, you know, my spouse is doing this, my spouse is doing that. They're being unreasonable. And it's just like, well, how are you contributing to the situation? You know, it takes two to tango. The other person is not having these emotional reactions for no reason. You know, yes, we do have our triggers, but you are contributing to the problem, you know? So I think a lot of people, they don't want to look within. They just want to look on the external. And then they get stuck in this victim mindset where it's always everybody else made them have the issues that they have, versus kind of being like, well, what am I doing again to contribute to this? So it is a little tricky to get out of the victim mindset. You can do it with proper coaching, but I see that's what I see a lot of.